Welcome back to my Pick a Card reading channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. I'm so excited to upload more content on this channel again. I really needed some time away to get my ducks in a row. But I am super excited to be back. So stay tuned for more content on this channel. Today, Pick a Card reading is all about your future self. So whatever messages or guidance or answers want to come true for you from your future self, I will try and channel them to the best of my abilities. I've divided today's reading into 3 different groups. The first one is connected to a Celestine / Celestite stone, a raw piece. The second group is connected and crowned by a Sodalite stone. And the third one is connected to blue calcite. So maybe you feel drawn towards a stone. Maybe it's one of these decks that's really like drawing you in. Feel free to take your time. I pre-recorded the shuffle process, so that will start playing right after I finish this intro. If you already like, no, I know my reading, I know my number, you can find the timestamps below. We'll take you right up until your reading. Feel free to, like I said, pause the reading if you need more time. I'm gonna start with the shuffle process. All right, let's go. All right, deck number 1. Let's jump into your reading. Let's see what your future self wants / needs you to know at this particular time. This is, however, a timeless reading, so whenever it finds you, it's the divine and right timing for you. All right. Quickly before I jump in, I want to ask you to hit the subscribe button. Of course, I love to gain some more subscribers on this new channel. But there's also another reason for it. I noticed that YouTube is adding like all kinds of commercial breaks on my videos, which if you know my other channel, I do not like. I think it takes away from the reading, and it's very disrupting to the energy. But before I can actually just, cut it off, I need a certain amount of subscribers. So please help me out gain that, and so I can like gain back control by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're feeling like it, the like button on this reading. All right, let's jump into your reading now. First card out, and which is crowning your reading, is Quiet Time. And as you can see on the card, if you're listening, it's a woman who is hushing, and she's surrounded by the aura. And it's almost like there's this form of protection that's coming through from the outside noise. Sometimes it's not just about being quiet ourselves. It's almost like quieting the external energy in order to actually have the internal being able to gather its thoughts and speak out. And so certain insights and realizations for you will continue to come when you take time to quiet the outside world. Quiet anything that comes in your energy that is stimulating in whatever way, shape, or form, from the external to the internal. It's about bringing the internal to a center stage. And so, what I'm sensing really strongly with your reading, I am sensing that they're asking you, like, in a moment where you might feel overwhelmed, in a moment where you feel like, I don't really know what to do, I don't know, like, I know something's off, I don't, like, what should I do? You maybe go to a friend, you maybe ask your therapist, or in whatever way, shape, or form you're trying to find some outside, validation or confirmations. Basically, try and take time to meditate in whatever way, shape, or form works for you, because meditation is not just only sitting in the grass or on the floor, and just really quieting your mind, not speaking, and not just closing your eyes basically and doing a meditation. That is definitely a strong form of meditation. But meditation comes in many ways. It could be also by maybe you love coloring or painting or doing something creative where no one else is involved but you, and just literally just in a quiet space, just work on something creative. Often the thoughts come, certain things might pop up, certain insights, certain answers, feelings may shift. And I feel like you guys are capable of gaining a lot of clarity from the inside out. And so your future self is literally saying, like, the answers are right there within you. We need you to calm the mind. It's almost like your future self saying, like, the moment I started meditating is when I start seeing clearly and hear things clearly and feel things much more aligned with what I truly want, what I truly feel guided to do, what makes me happy, what releases the stress, what releases this pressure. So your future self is literally like guiding you inwards. Let's see what else coming up. Let's see what other messages come true for you, because I already shuffled the deck obviously, and I'm just gonna spread out the rest of the cards. Beautiful, you guys have Archangel Michael. Wow, this is really one of my favorite cards from this deck. Also definitely my favorite archangel. So let's see, Archangel Michael, you have the South Node energy coming through, and we recently in July had a South Node shift. It moved from Scorpio into Libra. Here we go. I love that. Guardian. We have Sekhmet, Artemis, be strong. We have the, wow, the tarot card is the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, your future self's letting you know, like, everything is handled. Beautiful. Okay, balance number 14 with equals 5. The zebra and the priestess is coming true. So your beginning card and your basically your ending card right now, what is coming through strongly has to do with your inner wisdom, your inner guidance, your higher self, your future self. It's just understanding how to be in the world but not of it, almost, but then also be part and be connected to that oneness that is within all of us. But understanding that you have a lot more wisdom that you give yourself credit for. You have a lot more deeper knowledge and understanding than you give yourself credit for. So let's see what's coming true. Your future self is asking you, don't let your past hold you back. So maybe in the here and now, when you're listening to this message, you are still in some way, shape, or form past focused. Or there might be certain things and habits and certain ways of coping with things that come from the past and are still in the here and in your today, when you no longer maybe need those coping mechanisms or that defense mechanisms in order to survive. This reading is not about surviving, making it to the next destination. It's about really thriving, continue to thrive your way up and being connected to each and every step up on that journey. And so I do feel that when you come into this space with your future self, that energy that's coming through strongly for you, it's like they're really asking you to not just feel like you are on this journey by yourself, that you have to come up with all the answers, you have to come up with when there's the right time, you have to come up with all the opportunities and create everything. It's more like understanding that there's a big part of you that is a guidance that comes from within, and with that you can enlighten that and bring that more about on your journey through that meditation, through understanding that it is important for you to have those quiet moments and those quiet times. And that's not because you are not willing to show up, not willing to be there for others, not willing to do this or do that, but you just simply need, it's a soul's need for you to have time away from whoever is, you know, dominating in your space. I'm not saying like they are dominating you, but you know, there are certain people, like for example, our significant other gets more energy from us than maybe, you know, the neighbor from like 3 doors down. Like obviously that is a more dominating presence in your life, which takes up more space in your life than, like I said, the neighbor, like, you know, from across the street. That one gets like a hello and hey, how are you, how are the kids, you know. Here's the container. Like, oh, did my package came at your door? Well, thank you so much. Or your package came with me, I kept it for you. It's like that energy, right? It's that energy exchange. But when it comes to significant other, or your sister or brother or your child or your mother, your father, in whatever way, shape, form, everybody has certain level of presence in your life, regardless of how that role is playing out, regardless of how much we feel we should offer to that presence in our life. That still doesn't mean that any level of presence in your life should take away from that quiet time that you need. There's nothing that comes into your life that you're meant to self-sacrifice that quiet time on. Of course, we cannot always have those moments. We can't always be in that, you know, in our own aura. We sometimes have to, you know, life calls, right? We have to put bread on the table and food and a roof above our heads, and, you know, we want to give and want to be there, but where's the balance? And so that's what I love, because the card balance showed up for you. And I really truly believe the more you're capable of bringing in this balance and having those inner conversation with yourself, when you take time out for yourself, when you have to say no to other people, there's this internal battle almost that shows up of like, but I don't want them to feel that I don't care, or, you know, I've always showed up and I don't want them done. Like, are there certain inner conversation coming up? That's what I'm feeling. Like those inner conversations, those internal battles that you might have in order to claim that day off or whatever, you know, to have that quiet time, to say yes to an opportunity that actually doesn't make the most sense, maybe financially, but actually brings this, you know, this energy to your door and energy to your body and your mind and your soul. So then yes, it may not make the most sense when it comes to the pentacles, but it makes sense in all other areas of your life. And so what type of internal dialogue comes about? Because I'm feeling with that quiet time, the main focus is to not let it paralyze you, what comes up, but digging deeper, asking the questions to the questions that may arise, to the statements, like questioning that. And behind that, and working your way through that, I'm sensing you're dipping into this wisdom, to this intuition. It's like, it's almost like every time, you know, a question or a statement that comes up within you, a coping mechanism is trying to sort of, you know, protect how it's you know, like we always done it like this, so why now all of a sudden you want that change and that question, and questioning yourself. It's almost like flipping a card, and what was once like sort of a blank card, like carte blanche, now all of a sudden has this image on it, this answer, this wisdom. So it's like I'm really seeing you guys like flipping cards, like you really are flipping the table, flipping the deck, just flipping it the other way around. Just because something shows up in a certain way doesn't mean it also has the counterpart, also has the other side to it. So I'm seeing you really are capable of looking at things from a different perspective, and that is putting you on this pathway. That is putting you, yeah, in that thriving mode instead of that surviving energy. They say you are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. It really has a lot to do with that inner strength with segment right here. See is I'm sending a very strong, highly feminine energy. That doesn't mean you have to be a woman. It's just your inner feminine is showing you that your masculine has always sort of showed up to the battlefield, you know? Like, I'm just gonna slice some heads off, you know? But the feminine does it with much more grace. Yeah, it's such a powerful force of energy that it's undeniable. The strength of a feminine energy is undeniable. You can't go around it, you know. It's determination, and that's where your strength is coming from. It's about being determined to break certain cycles, break certain habits, break certain ways of thinking, break certain ways of feeling, of giving people the power to make you feel certain ways. It's like you are taking back a form of control, and it's just simply removing obstacles from a pathway that's already laid out, that's already there. All right. So the Ten of Pentacles is here. Once again, it's like, see all these runes, like they're built up. And it's like a solid foundation. It's almost like if you could have made it happen on the outside world, you would have felt it on the inside. But it's about feeling that sense of gratitude, that sense of peace, that sense of determination, and that silent strength almost coming from within, and therefore you have the power to change your reality in the 3D, to make things different. So I am sensing when it comes to like your finances, they will flourish and grow on the really exponentially, like on this pathway. And so sorry, my throat chakra is always affected while Mercury is in retrograde. They're saying with the zebra card, is saying by merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. Wow. We also have the priestess here. She's saying, how are you being called to step up and lead? How are you being called to step up and lead? How do you want to be taking on the leadership role in your own life, first and foremost? Where do you want to be led from? Do you want to be led by fear? Do you want to be led by your, ego is telling you need this in order to be happy? Or when we have that, then we can be happy. And when we have this, then we are loved. And if we have this person and we feel complete, it's like the need, the want. Think you need the wants. And it's like, or do you want to be led by that internal voice of wisdom, and that power and that strength and that determination that just comes with it? If you feel like you've been procrastinating, you feel like you lost your way, your pathway, feel like there's no really true any direction, so you will, Monday you want to do this and on Friday you want to do that. It's like there's no clear direction, because I'm sensing there isn't any balance. They want you to know that there's a strong protection, because they want you to trust. I am sensing it comes from a form of protection. The reason why you show up in the life that you do is because you feel this maternal protection. So it comes from a beautiful space. It's just in order to protect on the level that you're trying to do also takes away the faith that you are protected, that you are surrounded, that you are being guided, that you are, that universe do and does really have your back, and your angels really are very close and trying to orchestrate situations for your highest good. It's trying to teach you certain things, and I feel like you might feel like you're on your own a lot, like I'm on my own, maybe, and that can feel very lonely sometimes. It could feel very like empty, like what am I doing it for, almost what I'm feeling. So the saying, trusting heaven, you are safe, and angels stand close, surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. And that is the thing that is showing you once again, you are not 100% only responsible for those things, like divine timing and divine things being orchestrated in your life, opportunities coming in. It's not only up to you, but what is up to you is to trust that. Because if you can't find that within, if you lose faith in that, you show up and you do enough by showing up in your highest sense of self, that the rest will follow. The answers will come. They're also letting you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. You have very high, strong energy around you. And with the South Node, I understand that our shadow side sometimes makes us believe the worst case scenario in order to make sure that we're safe. It comes from a place of wanting to protect. I'm sensing that, like you have a very strong form of protection. Like your loved ones are like, everybody coming in the boat. Nobody's coming close my people, nobody coming at my, close to my kids. Like it's your very strong protector. So that by itself, that's beautiful. But when it comes to a form that wanting to protect at the higher cost of attacking yourself, and with that your higher self, I'm sensing that just really is, it's very depleting, and you don't have to. There's a more balanced way with a zebra. It's like, is a zebra white or is it black? Is it black with white stripes? Is it white with black stripes? Does it really matter? It is, right? It is a zebra. Is it a horse? Is it a horse with white and black stripes? Is it a zebra? It is. It is as is. Whether the zebra believes it's white with black stripes, it's black with white stripes, it doesn't matter. It's still a zebra. It is perfectly orchestrated. It's like, I'm sensing you have a difficult energy, a little bit of difficult struggle with your feminine energy. For example, if you are actually identifying as a man, you may feel like your feminine energy isn't, makes you less of you, when that is farthest from the truth. But at the same time, when the zebra, starts to get caught up, I'm like, am I a horse or not? I don't look like horses, but I've, feel like horse. Maybe I'm a donkey. Am I a donkey? It's like, it takes away so much of its power when it is, right? You see, the candle went out right when I said it. Takes away so much of the power. It takes away the passion. Takes away the divine orchestrated meaning and purpose of the zebra. It knows it knows where it's safe, and it knows where it needs to be conscious. The zebra doesn't have to feel threatened by everything in the jungle. It does have certain things, like lions and tigers and stuff they need to be worried about, because those are definitely a threat for their safety, but not each and every single thing inside that jungle, inside that nature, wherever living habitat, right? In its natural habitat, it has to fear, because it's simply That will be very draining if you see a zebra who's literally scared of anything and everything inside its living situation. It would be such a waste of time and energy. And it's not the way the zebra survives, because then it's only surviving. It's no longer living or thriving. So the balance, the butterflies, the birds, the sun, the water, the grass, none of it is a threat to the zebra. So the zebra is calm in its surrounding. When it is calm, it's calm. When there is a threat and one day, it's maybe chased, that's when it deals with it in the there and then. But it trusts the peaceful moments, the moments where it can let its guard down. And I feel like that is something your masculine needs to hear. Your masculine starts to learn and understand it from your future self, that I don't need to be on all the time in order to be thriving, in order to be successful, in order to be a loved, and appreciated person in other people's lives and in community and society. I don't have to be on edge all the time. I don't have to be on all the time. And that quiet time once again comes through with that message. You don't have to be on all the time. You see as well, it's like you see that this woman is actually, this angel is like having a spear, right? But you see that the deer's right behind it. It's protected. It's protecting the deer. When normally that would be the thing that people shoot arrows at. But it's actually shooting arrows in order of protection of the one that needs protection. So it's that belief in that protection that gives this deer the ability to be inside a natural environment where it has to deal with so much fear and threatening energy. But because that protection is there, there's balance. Alright, I'm gonna pick up tarot deck to clarify what else your future self has for you. Group number 1. What additional message wants to come true? My first group. It says the Hierophant and the Page of Wands. Look at that. That's really clarifying this thing that we just talked about. This is like making a commitment, and a deeper level of commitment to change, to adapt that faith within yourself, within your life, faith in the universe, faith in your angels, faith in people around you, faith in yourself, making that commitment. And you see that by changing the energy with the Hierophant, could also be a Taurus, maybe you are a Taurus, maybe you're dealing with a Taurus. You have the Page of Wands here as well, which comes out of that Hierophant energy. It's like the Page of Wands. Now we can focus on what we truly are passionate about. So your future self is letting you know in the future you will find a connection through your passions, things that truly make you happy. Not only feel like I'm happy when I'm safe and when my bank account is full, so I'm working this 9 to 5 because that brings me this form of safety. But that only is about surviving once again. So it's like doing things, saying yes to things that make you happy and bring passion and energy to you. That is really what you're working your way towards. And the Pentacles are right there. So you don't even really need to worry about the Pentacles in the near future. Your future self is definitely letting you know, like, yeah, if you're following your passion, if you are, connecting to yourself in that way, if you're trusting the universe to bring it up to you, if you're not continually to throw these fears and these obstacles in your pathway, you will actually definitely also will be provided with what the earth, has to offer, like the earthly things. The finding that sense of peace in that trust and in that faith, that is really magical. And that really is a true gift. Look at that Three of Pentacles. You'll find connection to like-minded people. And I feel like you just show up differently in people's lives again. Because what you're willing to invest is very pure. Even if it may be less than you used to, it's still very pure. Still want to give instead of fearing that if you don't, then this or that might happen or may not happen. And it's a lot. And I get it. It's not easy. It's like maybe you are a recovering people pleaser. All right. I think that are the messages that I'm getting for you from your future self. Of course, I will tune in again in a different reading for you guys. Maybe there's another reading that you feel connected to. So, of course, feel free to stay tuned. If you did, once again, quick reminder, please hit the subscribe button for the reason that I've explained in the beginning of your reading. I truly love and appreciate your presence here. And let's move into the next group. All right, deck number 2. Let's see what your future self wants or needs you to know at this time. Once again, it's a timeless reading, so whenever it finds you, it's for you. Before I start talking about this Two of Cups, quickly want to ask you guys, could you please subscribe to my channel? Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Okay, there's the main reason why I'm asking you guys to do this. Right now, I'm still growing this channel, and like the other one, I do have control over the monetization of my videos, but on this channel I do not, meaning that YouTube throws way too many commercial breaks for my liking on it, and I don't have any control over it just yet. So I really think it takes away from the reading, it takes away from the focus, from the energy. You guys also would love to watch the video without the commercial breaks in between. Please hit the subscribe button. It will really help me bring the peace back and onto this channel, just like my other one. All right, now let's see what we got. Okay, Two of Cups. Beautiful. Two of Cups energy. Your future self is showing you an equal connection, a soul-to-soul connection. Yes, it could be with a romantic partner. This could mean that you guys will find the balance back in the future, connected to your current relationship or to someone new entering your life. Really strongly feel that this is familiarity to it, meaning that it's almost like you connect on such a level where it's like you are discovering deeper parts of yourself in this connection. Like I said, it could be romantic, could definitely be also more platonic, like a friendship, a family bond. It's just having a deeper level of connection to someone in your surroundings. So with the Two of Cups, definitely I love how light this energy is and how it's coming through for you, deck number 2. Beautiful. All right, so that's crowning your reading. Let's just see what other cards are coming through. Take a break. Okay, you guys have to take a break. The answers you need are coming with full moon in Gemini. You also have a Lady Portia coming through. Four of Winter, infinite supply, and the High Priestess energy. Wow, deck number 1 as well. I don't know if you guys also felt drawn. It's the first deck. I'm not going to go too deeply into it if you first decide to watch 2 and then 1. But that one also ended on a Priestess energy. So there's really a highly divine guidance going on. And it really has a lot to do with your internal connection to your inner wisdom and to the universe, basically. And having that one-on-one bond connection. That's maybe why I'm sensing this energy. It's almost like they want you to align with that higher sense of self, with your higher self, with your future self, with that calm, that peaceness. It's a very strong energy of pure manifestation within you guys. If you chose this deck, you guys have this ability to really, really manifest things into your reality. It's almost like you're capable of really drawing it to you. Like you guys have a strong energy. Like you see, like as well with this pattern around her, it's like it's just, it can't help but just, you know, coming to you. So what I'm sensing is that your future self is letting you know you're really becoming a master of that manifestation. Like you guys are really strong manifestors, and you were born that way. You were born as a strong manifester. It's just like you haven't really, maybe there's a period of time where you haven't really in connected to it, or you felt that, well, yeah, I'm sensing like a disconnect from something that is there. It's there. So you are definitely, whatever is coming in for you, like you guys are manifesting it very strongly. Coming through pretty strongly is water. Water is really dominant in your reading, deck number 2. So you might be a water sign, you might have strong water placements within your chart. You might have Cancerian energy in your chart as well. I'm seeing like you guys have a great manifestation and connection to the moon, like new moon, full moon rituals really set a sort of a divine foundation in yourself, and in that manifestation energy that is so deeply rooted within you. I'm saying that rooted within you. So that energy, that water element is very dominant, meaning that it's all about purification. It's like when we finally take that night, or morning. Sometimes people really like love bathing in the morning. It's just when we finally take that break, when we finally, okay, tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm gonna take a salt bath, cleanse my energy, really have a moment to have a moment, and that's an energy I'm sensing. It's like that water, that moment of stillness, that moment of cleansing and clearing it out and washing it off and releasing it. That is really what is coming true. So your future self is really letting you know that you are very divinely connected. You have a strong manifestation quality within you. You have a strong guidance and wisdom, like a lot of wisdom, like knowing what to do. This internal compass is very, very strong. It's just, I feel it's there. It's always been there. You have connected to it, but then there's this moment of disconnect. That doesn't mean it goes away, right? Like, for example, if we are in a room or a house with another individual, and we are really in tuning into each other's energy, like you're having a conversation, you're having a laugh, you listen to the same music, or you're like watching a movie together, like you really are connecting to that energy in your house, that person in your house. Versus like being inside the house, both having like headphones on, music on, really one is listening to a podcast, the other one is listening to some music from the 80s, like who knows what they're doing. One is working out, the other one is busy in the garden. They are both there. That person is still there. It's just they are not connecting, they are not making that connection, even though they're still in the same space together. It's that energy that I'm feeling. So it's not about rediscovering it. It's like that it's within you. It's just simply finding a way of connecting to it and making space for it. So through water with you guys, I'm sensing that will definitely put you back in that connection. Because like I said, it's like it's familiar. Like this energy, how this makes you feel. When you focus, when you are in alignment, when you are integrating your spiritual sense of self into your very 3D day-to-day sense of self, like bringing it back into an alignment. There also really like a lot of energy that's coming through that is connected to the third eye, and that's once again is going within, having that internal dialogue, that internal conversation within yourself that is bringing you back on track. Because I'm hearing like I'm back on track. So the answers you need are coming. So they're letting you know, like, whatever you're struggling with at this moment in time and then you're having questions about for your future self, it's like, no, like the answers are coming, the clarity is coming, you will know what to do, you will know what to choose. And Lady Portia is here, and I was so focused on these, this energy around her that I forgot to read. The message that says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. That came to connection with the full moon in Gemini. We'll have a full moon in Gemini in December. So that by itself is really coming through quite strongly. It's like we're now in a couple of months. I'm sensing that for you guys as a timeline. You will know what to do. You will know how to tune in. Because a lot of people say, like, follow your heart. And it's like, you know, just listen to your heart. Do what feels right. But sometimes we're so out of alignment that we don't know what feels right. Because sometimes we're really in a state of fear. So we're like fearing an outcome. And so listening to that fear, meaning that we take all the precautions to like not make that fear reality, is making us feel safe equals making us feel right. Meaning that you come from a place fear, wow, it's also making you feel good. So it's really important to first tune in, to first become conscious, to release some of that fear state energy and tune into that other side within you. You see, one has his eyes open and one has her eyes closed, meaning that it's the as within, so without. That's what I'm getting. They're also really coming through strongly, once again, having a moment, to take a moment, saying like the koala is here with the 4 of winter. So it's that moment of pause. It's like he's just really taking a moment to sort of connect with a sense of self. They're saying, think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution. But meditation and prayer will bring the answers you seek. Once again, if you felt connected to deck number 1, or really highly, it's very strongly connected. The energy is really strongly connected. So they're letting you know that it's important to first cleanse, first align, first understanding that your guidance and the options are coming from this center space, like meeting connection to your alignment with your higher self, with your higher wisdom, with your internal compass. If you know that that's where you're coming from and not from a place of almost like fearing, and that's so overly focusing on making sure that none of that can happen, instead of a place of, I don't know, but that's really what I feel strongly guided to do. So I'm going to take that path, because my fear can come up and tell me, but are you sure? You know, is it the right thing? It's not strong enough in order to take you away from understanding that you're being guided by your internal compass with that. So they're also letting you know you are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. Once again, water element and the wheel. You see what's so interesting is like the wheel is like literally standing up with his tail like this. And this week I actually ended up watching a video about a whale who did this. And apparently it's quite rare. It's actually quite rare that you catch a whale doing this. But now it's showing back up in this reading. It's very strongly to understand that certain things, no matter how much we try to make it happen, go out on the water, trying to find a whale, trying to see if we can sort of, manifest it any sooner and putting ourselves in all the right situation, it just happens when it's meant to happen. That person didn't go out on the water to try and find a whale who was doing this with its tail right, extending right up. And it was actually a baby who was swimming around it. You see here as well, is also one swimming around it. It's like making those circles. And it's one side of it is to understand that if it's meant to happen, you just show up. And it happened, but you didn't show up for in order to happen. It just was an extra thing that happened with it. So when you are trying to, for example, fix your finances, your first instinct is often, what job gets me the most income? What job gets me, what's the quickest way to more money? understand that it sounds so opposite, but I feel like if you guys follow your bliss, the thing that makes you feel the best, and you do a lot of it because it doesn't feel like work. Maybe pick the job that maybe has less money, but that's not your first instinct. Because down the line, something else will find that space as well to fill it up. Like, for example, you might have two job options. One, 60-hour work week, but it gets you insane, like a real good payment. Yes, you won't have that much free time anymore, but you're trying to make it work because your main focus to do it is that money, right? A lot of the times it's very natural, it's a normal way of coping with things. The other job may be 35 hours, doesn't get you as much money, a little bit less, but actually is something in an environment where so many other things are offered. It's like with a certain type of people, it's with no people which you love, could be like that. It could be in nature, it could be with animals. It's like things that serve your soul. Like if you end up choosing that job, you might actually end up, like, I don't know, winning a lottery, so the money gets filled up, but it was because other things were more important first and foremost, and that was like following your bliss, following the option that your internal compass made feel like it was more sense. Understand that it's not up to us. It's not up to us to micromanage the options, right? It's like there is, of course, we have free will, and so we are more than entitled to choose whatever pathway we feel guided to do, whether that is from a place of like a really 3D perspective or from a higher perspective. We're always, we have free will to choose whatever we want, but understand that there are always more things behind the scenes that could work out way better in your favor that you could comprehend. And if you have some faith in that, and understanding that the universe wants you to choose things, wants you to follow things that make you feel good on a deeper core level, not the superficial, Yes, you can do that as well. But what I'm talking about is like the thing that got you the best results and manifest the things that you want to do more of, and what you want to call in more of, basically, is what I'm getting. All right, I'm gonna pick up this deck, see what other messages want to come through for deck number 2. What other messages come through? Knight of Swords. Ooh, quick moving energy. 8 of Cups. Yep. Deck number 2. Oh, 6 of Cups also. Beautiful. I really feel for some of you, you are reconnecting to a old dream, an old manifestation, like something you used to really wish for, and you may have let go of because you felt like maybe I need to start dreaming a different dream because this one may not be for me because I don't see any progress, and so I'll choose something else that I also like. I don't love it like I love the other option, but I think that I could like this as well, and I'm willing to like try this out, and yeah, making me feel good, not great but good. I'll just go with that. And I feel like you're reconnecting with something that you've left behind, thinking that wasn't for you, thinking that you couldn't achieve those things, couldn't, energy like that. I'm sensing you're reconnected to something that you may have abandoned or let go of years ago, like when you were 16 or 17, or maybe it's just really more recent, like a year ago or 3 years ago, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna give it another go. I'm going to try it from a different angle. I'm going to try and manifest that into my energy. And I'm going to manifest that by actually understanding that taking good care of myself and really working on my spiritual connection, that will bring in these things. I feel like for some of you, it really also has to do with a conversation with someone. Maybe you've left it be, but actually now it's re-manifesting into your life in order to have that conversation. And with that, you're kind of finally letting go of a viewpoint. Like maybe you viewed yourself in a certain way. Maybe you felt a way about yourself, like you weren't good enough because of somebody leaving or somebody choosing someone else, or whatever way, shape, form, a job, choosing someone else, a job moving forward, then eventually you can look at a situation, even maybe by someone expressing like, no, like I felt like you were too good for me. I felt like I didn't deserve that type of love. We felt like, you were just basically too good for this job, or too smart. And so the universe kind of pushed it away in order to make new space, but it was a lingering on your energy, in your self-belief system, like lingering, like disbelief about what you took away from that situation. And learning to look at it from a different perspective definitely gives you a lot more energy again. I feel like something is lighting your fire. With the Six of Cups as well, it's like it's reconciliation with feelings, passion, releasing that Four of Cups energy, like what I really, really want, I can have. So I don't know. What should I do? Question it. Can you have it? Is that the truth? Or hasn't it just shown up yet? Is there something better out there? We're never supposed to settle for that one thing that you feel that you really, really wanted. Really looking at it from a different perspective. Something better is on its way. And the moment where you can see that, like, you know what? That didn't work out, but something way better came in. And why am I still like doubting myself of why that person didn't want me? Why this didn't work? Why that didn't come in? Because there was something better out there for me. Because I deserve better. Because I deserve more me time and growing into the person that I am. Oh, there we go. Two of Wands and the High Priestess. So the answers you need are coming through your inner knowledge. You have the High Priestess again and the High Priestess twice. Wow. Strong. That's very strong, dominant energy. It's about the feminine. It's about the divine knowledge, the divine wisdom, the divine inner voice, inner guidance and inner compass coming through and guiding you. Those answers come from within. With the Two of Wands as well, it's like you're making future plans in the future from a different vision, from a different way of looking at yourself, and that will set you free. So that's really the strongest energy that's coming through for you, deck number 2. It's like, understand that something that you may feel disconnected from isn't gone. It's right there. It's just becoming conscious of connecting with it. It's like we are out there in the world. There's always so much to do. There's so much catch up on, and people and places and things happening in the world, and all of that can take you away from that person in your presence, right? And they're focusing on their things. Just understand that when you're ready to connect, that person is there to connect at the same time, and that's like your higher self, that other person in the house, in the room. But you have to create space for it. And so through water and connecting with your water, so your emotional sense of self and your emotional body, that's what will bring you that sense of peace. And then from that peaceful state, you have a very clear communication with that part of yourself, and your manifestation power like goes way up. Because like I said, like you guys have a very strong magnet, and this could also mean that you may or may not have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, or you're dealing with an Aquarius, but I feel most of all, it's because that Aquarius, like I feel like the Aquarius collective in general is like are the strongest manifestors. Like we all have great manifestation power, but Aquarius is like a whole nother level. But they also have to overcome the biggest obstacle in order to actually tune into that power, because of their mind wanting to, take them places away from believing that that's what's in their power. So once an Aquarius overcomes the battle of allowing the mind to not work against them, but for them and serve them, and embrace that power of thought and embrace that power of quick moving energy, and being able to see the future from a different angle, being that visionary, that's the moment where they will stand in that most powerful position. And they won't allow anyone to tell any stories about that narrative anymore. Like they're like, no, this is what it is. Very strong, very powerful. Also, the letter H is coming true. I don't know if that connects for some of you, but that came true as well. What the messages that your future self wanted you to know moving forward. And I hope it was helpful. Once again, quick reminder to please hit the subscribe button for the reason I explained in the beginning of your video, of your reading. Yeah, I love you so much, and I'm going to move on into group number 3. All right, deck number 3. Let's jump into your reading. Let's see what your future self wants and needs you to know at this time. This is a timeless reading, so whenever I find you, it's for you. I quickly, in between, want to ask you guys to please hit the subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel, because at the moment I'm not in control of how many commercial breaks there are on my videos, because I'm not monetized just yet. My other channel, I don't know if you guys follow me there. I've been monetized for a very long time, so I never have commercial breaks in between my readings, because I feel like it takes a lot of the focus away from the messages. But right now, I do not have any control, and I would love to just bring the peace back to this channel as well. All right, so thank you if you subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Now let's jump into your reading. So first and foremost, I'm sensing that you guys have a strong energy and a strong connection to light worker energy. So for some of you, you may have had multiple decks. I really felt like deck number 1, number 2 were quite strongly interconnected with one another. But when it comes to this one, I'm really sensing that there's like a strong light worker energy. You also have this card, which really, obviously connects to light workers, because they're saying longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. But let's see what other cards came true for you. You have the full moon in Taurus. They say your dreams need a practical plan. Also, the full moon in Taurus is coming up, and it actually is a eclipse full moon. I believe it is around October 28th. Out of the top of my head, it's around October 28th, depending on where you're at. So this is it's a connection to that eclipse energy. But I'm gonna get the rest of the cards out, and then we're gonna jump in. Master Jesus and Horus is here. Mother Earth, 5 of Spring, Aries energy, the Strength card, and the 10 of Spring. All right. So, first and foremost, I'm sensing a strong energy of a lack of boundaries. And it's not necessarily that you have a lack of boundaries in all areas of your life, and it's very practical, like a full moon in Taurus coming through here. I think it's deeper than that. I think that as a light worker, or in whatever way, shape, form, being connected to the world at a grander scale from that light, from that higher light energy, from having, a strong empathic soul, having a lot of compassion and understanding and deeper connection to people's emotions and to that higher energy. I feel like there is often a form of people pleasing and just having this deeper level of compassion for everything living, basically. And that sometimes takes us way beyond what we could actually carry or we could actually handle. But because there's this strong urge to care, to take care of either animals or people or the environment, or it's just this strong force within you that is just, it's what is right. It feels right. We need to go and do it. Like sometimes it just burns you up and you have no idea of the boundary itself, meaning that something just simply from a place of like it's in my nature, it's in my core to like help, to be there, to do that, like it feels right, it feels good, and so you're following that. It's just sometimes you're getting caught up by your earthly limitations, like you can only do so much. When you sometimes just overextend your energy, you don't really even maybe necessarily feel that you're overextending your energy like that. And then you find yourself really drained and you're like question that, like, what's wrong with me, why can I, and then maybe even being a little harsh with yourself about feeling tired or feeling less passionate, less connection. And it's like it makes you feel a little lost in, like, you follow something, it feels right, but then it burns you out at the same time. Then you kind of feel lost because that thing that really kept you going is now sort of, it almost feels like it's turning on you. And so it's not that you are on the on the wrong track. It's not. And it's not that you're not connecting from the right space. It is. But there's this deeper level of understanding how to integrate your earthly sense of self into your spiritual sense of self. And that is what your future self is letting you know. Like, you are getting a foundation where you know that this is the bare minimum and this is below the bare minimum, and this is higher energy and this is like earthly energy, and then this is the foundation again. So it's like getting a deeper level of understanding of, you always feel like you could do more versus, but that's more of like a higher perspective. And then looking back on it, you're like, ooh, I feel really drained. Like, for example, when you have like a long phone call conversation and you're really engaged in that energy and in that helping or giving someone advice or really having a deep conversation with those people, doing a reading or whatever way, shape or form, and you're like giving, and it feels good to give. But then when you stop that phone call, or when it's over, or when you stop the reading, like, you feel all of a sudden like really drained and tired, meaning that it felt right while you were giving it, but you were giving something extra away that feels so natural to give away, that maybe not feels natural to other people, but for you it feels natural. And so you find yourself depleted on depleted, and then you have the question like, what's wrong with me? So I don't know if this is resonating with some of you, but it's not like, oh, you're doing something wrong, because I don't want you to take that way, because yes, by itself it's beautiful how loving and giving and caring you are, and that's something that comes really supernatural to you as a light worker. Even if you're not actively calling yourself a light worker, feeling like you are one, you're doing the work of the light. You're nurturing, you're caring. Even if you are a mother and you're nurturing your children and you are taking care of the household and things like that, and so you're doing the work of the light, like you're nurturing and you're bringing people up, like you are doing light work, but it's not light, it's heavy. That's the thing. It's like understanding where your limitations are and being strong enough in order to protect those boundaries, and loving yourself radically enough to go against that other urge, to integrate yourself into that wanting to care and nurture and things like that, and just integrating yourself into it. Like, your future self is really letting you know you have to take care of yourself first. What do you need? What do you want? You want to give, you want to love unconditionally, you want to do all those things, but how do you love yourself unconditionally first? Do you have to disengage from self-love in order to extend unconditional love? Where is that coming from? Where is the urge to give coming from? Like, really having those deeper conversations with yourself, and those insights will bring you in that balanced space. They're letting you know strongly that you are just overworking yourself. And it's really hard to take that in as truth when you feel like you're not nearly doing enough. So where does that begin and end? Where does that conversation basically find any grounding if you are disassociating from that being a truth because you feel like you could do so much more? It's appreciating yourself first and foremost. It's like seeing what you're giving as something valuable, understanding that you hold value, your presence holds value, your care, your nurturing holds value. Then by itself, whether someone is validating that or someone is acknowledging that or not, you understand that you are actually giving something. And it's taking something away from you, meaning that if it doesn't get returned, you at one point will be end up depleted. And it's beautiful in a way of that your capability of looking at the world and looking at people and looking at everything on a grander scale from a place of motherhood almost. So that by itself is not something that you should perceive as negative. It's just understanding that how do we become masters of our own light, of our own ability to love and to so radically, like unconditionally and so deeply. How can we make that work for us, and just as much as we're capable of making it work for others and serve others? And I feel with the strength cards, understanding when do you need you time, when do you need some time away, when do you need to ground yourself. You're working too hard and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out from help from others and take time to play and enjoy life. There it is. There it is. It says, just because you can do it all by yourself doesn't mean that you have to. When you ask for help and you feel like with that by itself is acknowledging weakness versus feeling worthy of other people helping you just as much as you want to help and extend that to others. Bringing that equalness, that equal give and take back into something that doesn't necessarily come so natural to you. Doesn't mean that it can't become a natural way of equal give and take flowing into your life. Maybe that is the foundation that you've been looking for. It's having a deeper understanding that we are all one, yet we're all our own individual sense of self, meaning that we're all different yet the same. So what comes natural to you, something else, maybe complete opposite, comes just as natural to someone else, meaning that it might clash sometimes. And that's also what they're saying here with the Five of Spring. It's like occasional you may experiencing clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or your beliefs. That's a way of connected to it. It's like you are called upon to help with environmentalism. Meaning that maybe you feel strongly about saving Earth, taking care of her, understanding that she is eventually, the creator, the true artist, the true mother. But in order to stand for something doesn't mean that you have to necessarily stand against something at the same time. Sometimes just standing for something, for that change, for what should happen instead of what no longer should happen, brings about a lot more lighter energy. It's like focus your energy on the things you want to manifest. This could be very like ABC. Like maybe you have a question for your future self about your finances. How can I make my finances more stable? Focus on the finances that you have. Focus on the things you're capable of providing for yourself in the here and the now. Not focusing on the lack of the things you can provide for yourself. Focus on the things you do. Maybe you pay your rent every month and the rest of your bills, and that's it. You can afford a roof above your head. You are putting yourself and maybe your family in a warm home where you can sleep at night, safety, like knowing the next morning like will come, like you guys are safe. That is not nothing, that is something. And like focusing on the things that you want to continue to manifest. You want to manifest being able to provide. Focus on the things you are already providing, being grateful for that, seeing yourself, being proud of yourself. So focusing on the things you want more of in your life is definitely something that will quickly manifest things into the here and the now. They're already in the future. It's a future sense of self is surrounded by such a more grounded energy, yet highly spiritual, yet a lot more practical about things at the same time. So very strong message when it comes to that. This full moon in Taurus, that eclipse energy, like I said, is 28th of October. That energy, there's that shift happening within you. And they're also talking about a cosmic gateway. They say your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Miraculous changes are occurring. I'm sensing that you're going to change something about yourself, about your life, that you're like, I never thought I was able to do this. I never thought I was able to do this. Like, for example, when people like quit drinking, and it's something that used to be such a big part of their life, whether it was positive or negative, like it was a big part. Like, I never thought I could stop drinking, and here I am, like 5 years sober, like, or 5 months sober. It's like, I'm doing it. I never thought I'd do it, but I'm doing it. Like, that's something you guys may say, right? It's just understanding that there's always space for a new reality, for something that you maybe now are not capable of seeing changing, like that no longer being a part of your life, that stress no longer being there, that thing finding a solution, not being like, you know, in the situation when it comes to your marriage, like you can't see beyond. And that's what they're asking you, like open up your energy, open up your mind, focusing on what you want to manifest. And your future self is like, I never thought I was able to like do this, but I did it. And so that's the strongest message. Like, you're capable, whatever circumstance you find yourself in, whatever patterns, whatever ways, like you're capable of breaking through it. Your future self is showing you that very strongly. It's like, we understand that this is how you feel. This is, you know, your future self is like, this is how I used to feel. I understand, but I no longer feel this way. I no longer can see myself in this. I no longer connect to that or identify as that. Like, I found a new way, and this way is way better, and I never thought I would find it, but I did. So something that you really felt was so far away actually becomes much more reachable, much more tangible almost. Let me pick up a couple of tarot cards as well for you. I have to pick up a different deck because some of the tarot cards from that one is still connected to deck number 2, so I'm going to, this one is so, I'm going to pick up the original Rider-Waite Tarot. Deck number 3. What other message want to come true for deck number 3? What other message want to come true with deck number 3? Ooh. What are we throwing out? The 3 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, that Wands energy, like 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands, it's what came true. And now you have beautiful, the 3 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So your ability to really have a different way of looking at things, it's the way that you're going to perceive things. The truth shifts. What used to be true for you no longer is necessarily only true for you anymore. Like you're waking up to a higher truth, a higher way of viewing things, and it gets you unstuck. I don't know if you guys have been procrastinating, feeling a lack of motivation, feeling a lack of energy, but here you are with the 8 of Cups, like you're doing the work. You're putting in the time, putting in the hours, you're doing the work. because you feel that it has purpose. Like if you invest it can reap the benefits. If you don't feel like this work can reap anything, you are not going to find yourself motivated to do it at the same time. If you feel like I'm only on earth to give, to give, to give, and then be completely depleted and nobody ever is going to be able to give back to me, you're gonna stay depleted. So understanding how to fill up your own cup, understanding how to have a different viewpoint is going to bring in opportunities after opportunities after opportunities for this change, for feeling better. So your future energy is really positive. I love this technometry because it seems like you're just moving through the stream of healing and you're just passing by things and you're allowing the flow to take you elsewhere. You no longer feel the need that you have to go backwards against the stream, right? If you are in a boat and you have to paddle and you're going against the stream, like it's just exhausting. You're like, instead of that, you're putting the paddles inside the boat, you're relaxing, you're opening up a drink, and you're just allowing the flow to take you wherever it goes. That's more of an energy. I'm feeling like something that you feel like you're paddling against the stream in your life, like an energy, like as a person, a situation. Like you're just leaning in. You're surrendering to the situation. And it surprisingly actually take you out of that stagnation. When sometimes we do need to do it all. We just need to do and give it our all in order to be like, now I'm ready to let go. Now I'm ready to stop paddling against the stream. And now I'm ready to put them inside the boat, lean back, and just see whatever happens. Because I needed to know that I did everything that I possibly could to see that, to not have to look myself in the mirror thinking, I could have done this, I could have done that, I could have, That's okay. It's a lesson. Just know that you don't have to do that with every single thing moving forward in the future in order to be blessed by being capable of letting things go when you know that that's the right thing to do, even though it is very hard and even though it may go against your natural instincts and even though it goes against feeling like you aren't being and loving someone else or a situation unconditionally. It's a new coding of something that won't go away. Your ability to channel your light and channel what you're out here to do becomes more straightforward. It becomes more clear. It's not just spread it everywhere all the time. It's become more focused and therefore more powerful. And with that, sometimes feeling a little off, feeling a little lost, not really sure. It's like those are the perfect moments to lean back and to let the stream take you. Longing for home, belonging, like it's that homesick feeling. We're going to talk about that in a different reading. Like I do really want to go deeper into that, but for now, these are the messages from your future self. I really do hope that it was helpful. Set your intention for this eclipse energy on the 28th of October for this year. Well, 2023. So if you're watching this in 2024, no problem. Just focus your energy on the next eclipse that's coming in for you guys. Because that's the thing. It is tough to change. It is tough to bring in change in your life in general, okay? Like I want to put it out there. Even if it's an unhealthy or healthy change, sometimes it is hard. But it's even harder when it comes from a place of unconditional love and compassion and the way that you just look and view the world. But understand that in some way, shape, or form, that can get affected in a negative way if it's self-harming. And so that by itself is a lesson, because the urge to nurture, to do that, to extend yourself is so strong that the lesson is even more greater when we're capable of channeling that to ourselves first and then to the world. because that feels unnatural. But that is what you would do as a light worker where you come from, because that's a natural. But they're asking you to do it from a human perspective, meaning that we can't use our endless source of energy because we are human, and our body and our mind have needs as well. And then nurturing and extending that nurture to yourself first, and keeping that in mind in the giving is key. It's a very strong, powerful key that will bring you a lot more inner peace. Definitely overcoming a way of viewing it, you're cracking a code, and you're feeling much better about the situation. So, once again, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel because of the reason that I gave you before I jumped into your reading. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your presence here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys. Bye.